times do I multiply 2x squared, or what can I multiply 2x squared by to yield 8x cubed? Well, 2 times something has to equal 8, so I'm going to put the number 4 in there for sure. And then for x squared to be equaling to x cubed, I'm going to need an x. So I'm going to choose to multiply by 4x. Now when I come down to see what's below, I'm going to have to do 4x multiplied by 2x squared plus 2x. And that, of course, is a distributive property. So 4x times 2x squared is 8x cubed, which is precisely what we wanted. And 4x times 2x is going to be an 8x squared. So that's what we get down in this spot. Okay, so now just like typical division algorithm, we're going to subtract. And what is 8x cubed minus 8x cubed? Well, that's 0, and this will always happen if you're doing it correctly because you want that first one to cancel out. And then what is 6 minus 8? Notice the minus is outside of the parentheses here, so what's 6 minus 8? Well, that's negative 2x squared. Okay, so then we'll move into the next slot. What do we multiply 2x squared by to yield negative 2x squared? Well, we need to make it negative, so we're going to multiply by a negative 1. Negative 1 will then be multiplied against the 2x squared plus 2x quantity, which is a distributive property, and that's going to give us negative 2x squared minus 2x. So in addition to the 4x that would have been pulled down here, we're now subtracting this quantity from both sides. So we're going to subtract this off and see what we get. So negative 2 minus negative 2 would be negative 2 plus 2, so those cancel. Remember, this will always happen. And then what is 4x minus negative 2x? Well, that's like 4 plus 2x, 4x plus 2x, so that's going to be a 6x. Carry down the next piece, plus 9. And then notice that since we're dividing by 2x squared, we won't actually be able to take out any more, because down here the 6x is of lower degree than the 2x squared plus 2x. So the final answer is going to be to add on the 6x plus 9 as a remainder out of the object we were dividing by, which was 2x squared plus 2x. And that's the answer that you would provide. And there's the answer for the long division. So why don't you take a shot on one on your own here. Pause the video and see if you can divide 2x minus 1 into 8x cubed minus 12x squared plus 14x minus 4. Okay, assuming you tried this, let's do it together. 2 times what gives you 8? That would be a 4. And therefore we'd have, and we'd also need some x squareds in there, so there's x squared. So therefore down below we would be getting 4x squared times 2x, or 8x cubed. 4x squared times 1 would be minus 4x squared, and then we subtract. Okay, 8x squared minus 8x cubed minus 8x cubed is gone. Negative 12 minus negative 4 would be negative 12 plus 4, so we'll get a negative 8x squared. Carry down a little bit more, plus 14x. Okay, now what do we multiply 2x by to yield negative 8x squared? Well, this time we're going to have a minus 4x, because notice 4 times 2 is 8, and x times x is x squared. So, multiplying this out, negative 4x times 2x would be negative 8x squared. Negative 4x times minus 1 would be plus 4x. And so now we're going to subtract this quantity off. Again, negative 8 minus negative 8 is 0. This time, 14 minus 4 would be the number 10. So we're going to be left with 10x. And then we'll carry down the last piece. Okay, what do we multiply 2x by to get the 10x? This time we're going to multiply by 5. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times negative 1 is minus 5. And when I subtract these off, the 10x minus the 10x is going to give me 0. And for that last piece, we're going to have minus 4 minus negative 5. Minus 4 minus negative 5. So it's going to be plus 5, and that's positive 1. So the remainder bit that we would tack on to the end here would be 1 over 2x minus 1. And the final answer, 4x squared minus 4x plus 5 plus 1 over 2x minus 1.